think embracing challenge is like crucial for artistic growth, and at least especially for me, for musical expression in some sort of capacity, because not everything should come easy. And I find that especially with composing, there are oftentimes all kinds of different challenges. In one of my goals of teaching, which is to try to encourage and sort of allow for whatever their voices are to come through, I found that at least an awareness of whatever possible narratives are, I think helps overall. A lot of times I ask students like, well, how are you feeling? Like, what are you thinking today? What did you notice while you were writing these things? Not just like in the sound world realm, but just like emotively or within your sort of environment. Like, what are things that you noticed or sort of gravitated towards, or at least, so what about something that sort of caught you off guard or caught your attention? Maybe that could be something inspirational in the overall act of sort of composing and putting this piece together.
This shorthand that just has to do with half steps and the number of spaces between them. So this, I'm calling a 1-1 just because of the half steps. So that's a sound that I'm playing with. But also to make it asymmetrical. So those are kind of the worlds that I was dealing with.
And you were basically off the overtones, right? But I'm wondering if there's flexibility allowed in how you're modifying the shapes, because the overall line we can consider as like one object. But then I think there's plenty of sort of space to sort of just isolate individual components of the overall shape that could also exist to be extended, repeated, sort of emphasized as it. Trying to encourage and enable everybody's sort of perspectives and interests in the overall sort of environment of growth is perhaps the most rewarding and most enjoyable part about being sort of within music, right? And music, as we know, is just a broad, worldly sort of artistic environment that should allow for all kinds of different perspectives and backgrounds and just different reasons to enjoy making sound and sort of creating sound together. Yeah, like this sort of sound where they're like displaced by a 16th. Mm-hmm. It actually works like really well to the overall ensemble, but on the sort of large scale, it's actually just like one big descent, right? It's going all the way downwards to sort of the lower end. We finally get like some bass clef in the very sax for one, besides a little like solo riff there. Being a composer, it requires many hats to wear. And one of the most important ones is just simply how you connect with other people, not just with your music, but also just as a person in general. I couldn't have programmed all of my music just by myself, but having sort of people to sort of connect with, work with, whom you feel like really vibe with your overall aesthetic and approach makes the overall work, the countless hours of work you put into it, really worthwhile. One of the most enjoyable things about Oberlin is the fact that it's just a very small, tight-knit community. And whether you're in the conservatory, in the college, or you're just simply like in the area, I find that there's always something going on. There's always things happening in the environment which sort of offer a chance for you to sort of jump in and dive in and sort of connect with other people. And I find that when it comes to our department, our students are like all over the place. They're just getting into all kinds of different projects, meeting people. The sort of best thing to applaud is the fact that they're just so prolific and driven to sort of like, hey, I'm gonna go do these things while I have the chance to. And Oberlin provides that.